And good morning, folks, and welcome back to the channel once again. And I have resumed work on the boat. I know in that last video I alluded to some personal matters that came up that were just demanding all of my attention, and it took time away from my work here. But we're still working through all that stuff. You know, folks, sometimes life just happens, and things come up, and you know, you have to deal with it, and things like this, you have to put it aside for a little while. I mean, you know, good grief, you know, that's just life. Like I said, we're still working toward a resolution, but life has to go on. And so, like I said, I had to get out here and start working on the boat. And really and truly, this does help me take my mind off things. And I have been working on it. I had to come back here. I mentioned in that last video. Oh, and by the way, I apologize for the last video. That was not my best work. But like I said, you know, just had all that personal stuff that came up sort of suddenly. But I mentioned that I needed to put some fiberglass tape on these vertical corners, and I did that. Actually, I did that last night. And I still need to get out here on these edges right here and sand them down like I did over here. I've been working on this. And the reason I have not been out here recording that is because, quite frankly, hours and hours of just sanding edges, really, I just don't think that makes for a entertaining video. So I'm going to get this done, and then as soon as I get the back of this boat prepped, as soon as I get these float pods prepped and get all these corners reinforced, then I'll get out here and I'll start draping the big pieces of cloth on the sides and on the bottom of the hull. And I will record that process. I promise you, I am getting back into this, and you know, like I said, sometimes you have to work through stuff. And so, with all that said, I will see you in the next segment, and I'll be right back. All right, folks. Well, today is the day. Here in a moment, I'm going to get all my resin cups set up, and going to get this piece of fiberglass cloth right here draped over the side. It'll probably take me a couple of hours. Like I said, you know, got a lot of personal stuff I alluded to earlier, and it's still going on. But you know what? You just got to grind through it, and I'm going to have to grind through this because I really do want to get this boat in the water, and we just got to get this back on track. I will see you here in a few moments. Okay, almost there. And when I get to the point where I'm actually laying out the cloth, I'm going to fast forward through it. So, paint pan with disposable liners, resin ready to be mixed up, and I will probably have to mix up a fourth one, but I will make that call here later on. So I'm going to go ahead and get the camera set up, and I'll record all of that and walk you through it. And then after that, well, as usual, I'll just have to walk away and then let everything fire off. Yeah, it is a warm day today, so I am going to have to work fast, and I'm not going to have a lot of time to handle the camera. And so, you know, I'll do the best I can with the camera work. All right, be back in a moment. Okay, folks, it's always kind of a challenge just finding the right camera angle, and I'll edit this video and, you know, edit out, you know, some of the less than flattering camera angles. Sometimes I get my back turned to the camera and nobody wants to see that. But like I said, I'm about ready to start mixing resin, and I will fast forward through the rolling out of the resin and laying out of the cloth, and we'll just speed this up. And all right, all I can do now is stop talking and start working. Okay, I'm gonna stop the camera right there, and I'm gonna let that get just a little bit tacky before I roll that cloth out. And I think that's one of the mistakes I've been making, is I roll that cloth across the resin when it's still too wet, and I have a little bit of a problem controlling it. So I'm gonna let that tack off just a little bit. We'll get back to you when I resume this little operation. Okay, that's had time to tack off. So for better or for worse, here we go. Okay folks, I'm going to stop the video right there. I've got some air bubble issues up there on the bow that I'm having to work with, and it's quite a challenge getting those air bubbles worked out. I've gotten most of it, I'd say probably about 90% of it worked out, but right there where that bow makes that curve up there towards the front, dealing with some air bubbles. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right there, and I will be back to you here in a little while. Okay, so I got that on there. I did get most of the air bubbles out. Say that, got one right there. But anyway, if I find any from this point going forward, what I will have to do is I have to come back and I'll have to sand it out, and then I'll just have to just lay some resin in the bare spot and just patch it. And that's about the only way I'm going to be able to address that. Had a lot of issues right here in this area with air bubbles, and it's because of the way the cloth was kind of making some compound curves right here. Curving this way, you see that little Coke bottle shape there to that bottom of that hole. That was causing some issues because the cloth it didn't want to conform to this shape, so it really caused me to have a lot of problems with air bubbles right here in this radius. And like I say, if I come back later on, and I've got one right there, when I find those, I'm going to have to sand those out, cut them out, and then just take some little small pieces of fiberglass and just patch that in. That's the only way I'm going to be able to address that. But overall, we came out in pretty good shape, and actually got that done in a fairly decent amount of time. And so all I can do now is just get ready to do the other side over there. I'm not going to record that when I do that side because you kind of get an idea of what's going on here. Of course, I got a couple little wrinkles here, and I may end up having to sand those down, do the same thing, just put a little repair piece over that. But I'm going to stay out here with it for about, another hour or so, and I'll see if any more of those little air bubbles pop up. We've got about 99% of it down now. I do have a little bit of a mess there with the resin. That will sand out. Not worried about that. I just want to make sure I get all those air bubbles out. And like I said, there is a way to address that. I mean, it'll just make a little bit more work. I'll just have to cut the delaminated areas out, come back little small pieces, and just patch that in. I'm not really worried about any overlap right there because eventually I'm going to put some fairing compound on this hull, so it'll all smooth out in the end. All right, folks, God bless you, and I just thank you for watching, and I do apologize for the time delay. I know it's been a few days since I uploaded any videos, but this is a time-consuming process, so it might go, I was trying to do videos every 5 to 7 days. It might go 8 to 10 days now, just because of the amount of time that this takes. So, folks, again, God bless you in all things. As always, to God be the glory. Thank you for watching.